Since the genre of animated films has been a thing, we have seen many different films enrich the world of storytelling through a unique lens that combines artistry, technology, and an aspect of relatability that can resonate across many different generations. Hundreds of films have spanned decades and decades of the genre, giving us some of the best films ever made. Today, we are talking about a film that has just put itself within that conversation. The movie is called Flow, and just the other day, it won the 2025 Oscar for Best Animated Feature. In this video, we are going to analyze why Flow matters to the future of animation because of this Oscar win. A deserving win, might I add, now that I have finally watched the film for the first time. It's on HBO Max now, and I went right to watching it after the Oscar ceremony ended on Sunday. To everyone watching, what is your favorite aspect about this movie for why you loved it? Let me know down below in the comments as we run through this video. To quote the man himself, Vision, from the show WandaVision, what is animation if not visual storytelling persevering? I think that quote will resonate quite a lot within this video, because Flow is a movie that redefines animated visual storytelling in the truest way possible that can resonate with people to the point where we can get to the reason why this video is being made in the first place, because it just won the Oscar for being the best animated film of the year. Now, I know a lot of people believe that The Wild Robot should have won, but a good conversation I've seen within the film space recently is that everyone loves both films collectively. I think it would be an honest mistake if we were to clash over two films like this for who won the award when we all know deep down that both can be great in their own ways. For me, what makes Flow stand out from the rest is that it is that unique detraction from the rest of what we've seen in the past from other animated films that people have come to love in a way that might be showcasing what the future could hold for this genre. All of this comes down to the very thing that the movie does best, which is pure visual storytelling through the art of animation. Animation is simply more than just the visuals. It is how the visuals depict the story, the emotions of characters and the world around them. For years, animated films have often been relegated to a niche category that some have only ever considered to be a genre that is looked at because it resonates with kids and families. But this win for Flow signals a shift in how the industry might view the art form from a storytelling perspective. The director of the movie, who I will refrain from butchering the name pronunciation of, has said in interviews that one of his inspirations for this movie was video games. In a way, Flow actually kind of comes off as if you were watching a video game cinematic, even if to a degree where someone might suggest that the graphics look like they were of an older era of console games. He said, "It's a bunch of games I played when I was growing up. That is when you most easily are influenced, I guess. It's about telling stories without dialogue through the environment, conveying a sense of history to this world, and allowing the audience to figure it out themselves without actually using words." And he's right, because when I watched the film, I really did get that feeling from it that he was telling a story that was easily translatable enough to the point where I could figure out everything on my own without the need of a single syllable of dialogue. The world tells the story, the usage of color grading tells a story, the music tells the story, and then of course, so do the animals. As someone who is very big on animals, especially with the idea of owning one as a pet like I have with a couple of dogs in my life, that also resonated with me for why the film came out so amazingly. There were several moments where I almost started crying because of that. Doing this movie with animals as opposed to humans, I think would hit someone way more, because unless you are a horrible human being with no soul, I think everyone gets emotional when animals are on screen. And animal expression and body language can all be understood universally in a way where you see where they are sad, scared, or even happy. It's very relatable, and it adds to this idea that the other reason why people love animal characters so much is because in film and television, we as humans write them in a way where we wish we could be them, but also understand their pain and suffering even more if they were hurt. It's essentially a way of the filmmaker writing their film experiences into those characters. For this film, the cat is a great representation of an interesting story angle, where at first, you see he is all happy and jovial, living life to the best. Then, the flood comes in and takes that away from him, along with the home that he resided in. Just a super innocent and vulnerable cat that, when facing the danger and hardship of this flood that has taken over the world, It amplifies our emotional reactions because of their perceived vulnerability. It just really adds that emotional impact of suffering loss because we have such unconditional love for these creatures. I think the director of Flow could easily have made these characters speak like we see in many other animated films that have had animal characters, but he didn't do it. He relied on the basic animal functions to tell the story with their nonverbal nature and emotional expressions that often make them more relatable than even if a human character were to show up randomly out of nowhere and mess with the flow, no pun intended, of the movie. Of course, I mentioned it already, but I think the second best thing that this movie does is make a point about how animation can do so much more with its tools with regards to building out expansive worlds. If you've watched the movie already, you'll know that this is definitely on Earth, or at least I think it's on Earth, but I'm 100% sure it is. It's a version of Earth that is very different than what you've seen before in the sense that it looks modern, but also looks like it's modified. Some examples stem from the way the landscapes are shaped. Certain structures that don't exist in real life show up out of nowhere, but this world still exists in its version to even the other aspects of wildlife that make an appearance to show that this is very much a different version of Earth than what we've seen in other films and television shows. It makes you start questioning why certain things are happening and how this version of Earth works, because as you'll know, the whole idea of the flood in the film is that seemingly it is a repeating occurrence that happens often, but who is to say that it only happens in this one part of the world, along with the fact that when the flood goes away, the Earth goes back to a normal state of not being as heavily damaged. What really helped in making that interesting was the animation and the visual style. I think the director really knew what he was doing with this because I think he knew that he needed to add something else into this film to make it much more interesting than what the general plot is giving you about these animals. Sure, you can follow all these different animals on their adventure all you want, but there's got to be something much more to it than just that. Again, I can't stress enough, but none of this works if it's not done through animation. Films like this can't be captured the way they are unless it's done through this media format, but also having a strong mind to formulate these ideas and take them off the page and put them into your animation software that you use to create it. And one last note about the director. I love how he is having as much fun as possible with this movie, especially during the awards season. Seeing the video of him as his movie gets announced for the nomination at the Oscars while cuddling up with his dog is truly heartwarming, along with his self-aware humor to go to In-N-Out for a burger right after his Oscar win, copying Paul Giamatti after he won his. It's such a great attitude that I think everyone should strive to have in life, and I hope his movie gets seen by so many more people now after its major win at the awards because he really does deserve it. To end this video, I want to make one last point with regards to my final thoughts on animation, and I'll do that with the help of another filmmaker named Guillermo del Toro. In recent years, he has been the main champion of this medium, given his work on his own films, and I think he said it best when he said exactly how I put it at the beginning of the video. Animation as a medium is for expressing the full range of human emotions and experiences, and not just for children, as many business execs in the film industry might look at it. It's an art form capable of conveying complex and mature themes. It allows filmmakers to push the boundaries of imagination and creating worlds that live-action movies cannot achieve. It gives a sense of flexibility in the art of storytelling and world-building that allows filmmakers the opportunity to craft entire universes and even franchises if they were compelled to do so. It can break rules, but also offer so much more freedom and potential than other films in the live-action sense could ever imagine they have the ability to attract. In essence, animation deserves to be respected more, as opposed to only being looked at as a medium that is appealing to one demographic of people on this planet, such as kids and families from time to time. Animation truly has the ability to become something so much more in the future if it is given that respect and the time warranted to craft films like Flow. I myself have never always been the most interested in the animated genre because I've gotten older and become an adult now, so I haven't had the most amount of time to watch these kind of films. But I think more than anything, animation has the ability to be something more than just a genre. It has the potential to be the very thing we all want from film in general, which is to experience something that will make us emotional or dream for the best in life. And there you have it. That's my commentary and analysis of the now Oscar-winning animated film, Flow. Please do go see this movie if you haven't already. What do you all think of the film and my commentary of it? Leave your comments down below and let's have a nice and respectful conversation. I can't ask enough that you be respectful, as I do read all my comments to the best of my ability. Thank you for stopping by my channel. If you do want to see more moving forward from me with regards to film and television, and you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and subscribe if you are new here, and turn on that notification bell. I'm trying to build a community on here, and your support would be appreciated. That's a wrap, folks. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the day, and I will see you all soon for the next video.